This is
afterwards,
one thing I will surely
one
go
of the
to.
most northerly coastlines in the world, Nazare.
Nazare.
Just a 90-minute drive from Lisbon, Nazare is this historical coastal town that is famous for being
Whoa! The waves! Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to watch 25 places to visit in Portugal. So I think so Portugal is also a part of Europe and it is also very very beautiful. Like we have seen Spain and Italy in the photos and videos. So I'm very excited to watch like what is the beauty of Portugal. And the thing is like the only thing that I know about Portugal is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing else. So it will be very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Located on Sintra's coast, about 50 minutes from Lisbon, this is probably my favorite beach in all of Portugal. Now, one reason I like it so much is for its rock formations. There's several of them, and they look like wizard hats.
It is
now,
isolated.
To the beach, it's a decent hike. It only took us like 20 or 30 minutes to get down. It is just a little steep descent, but it's nothing you can't handle. Now, when you reach the beach, I was just amazed by the rock formations. They're just huge and really fun to walk around. The water was a little bit chilly, but would be so nice on a hot day. Now, if you can, it's an amazing place to go for sunset. The beach lights up with an orange glow, and it's just hard to beat. Couldn't recommend this beach enough. Now, another really cool spot above the beach is Cabo da Roca. There's a scenic lighthouse up there, and there's lots of trails that you can walk around, get amazing views of the sea cliffs, and there are some other beaches you can hike down to. I mean, this area is amazing. You definitely gotta check it out.
So you can have your own private beach.
Over to the Pena Palace. It's a stunning,
so
colorful
colorful
castle that sits on top of the Sintra Mountains. The palace was completed in 1854, and today it stands as one of the 7 wonders of Portugal. Now, to get there, you can take a taxi to the top, or you can also hike up from the town of Sintra, and that's what we did. It's a really beautiful hike that you go through some gardens. When we reached the palace, I was just amazed by the architecture and the colors. It was so vibrant, and I loved the contrast between the red and yellow structures. I will say it was extremely packed, like there were so many people. So if you do go, I recommend visiting really early, right when it opens, or avoid going in August. Now, right next to the palace is the Castle of the Moors. It was built all the way back.
It looks like the Great Wall of China.
I actually like this place a lot better than the Pena Palace. There was way less people, and there was just like so much history. I was fascinated how well it was preserved. One of my favorite things that you could do is you can walk around the perimeter of the fortress and get a little taste of what it must have felt like to live in Portugal during medieval times. Another historical nearby place is the Quinta de Regaleria. It's home to this inverted tower, which has a fascinating history regarding the initiation ceremony for the Templar Knights. Now, afterwards, we're going to visit the city of Lisbon. Now, if you're coming into Portugal, chances are you'll fly into this airport. It's a great starting point for your Portugal adventures. Now, being one of the oldest cities in Europe, Lisbon is just full of so much culture and history. One of my favorite features of Lisbon is the Sanctuary of Christ the King monument. It reminds me of a mixture of Rio de Janeiro and San Francisco, with that massive bridge that goes over the Tagus River. The Commerce Square is another beautiful spot to explore. The Bhavan Tower is another really cool monument that served as a point of embarkation for Portuguese explorers. Lisbon is such a historic city, and I have to say it's one of the most beautiful capitals in all of Europe. Afterwards, we're going to visit the medieval town of Obidos. Now, located about an hour's drive from Lisbon, Obidos is this romantic medieval town protected by an impressive stone wall. Around the year 713,
so see how they have even maintained the walls.
A fortification
like
here.
Previously,
and in
cities
the
were
12th
built around
century,
walls.
The king of Portugal reclaimed the land. Obidos was later gifted to the Queen, and for the following centuries, Obidos received special treatment from the Queens of Portugal, who remodeled and enriched the village throughout the Middle Ages. Today, Obidos is one of Portugal's most well-preserved medieval towns. Now, one of my favorite features of Obidos is the wall that surrounds it. When you enter the town's gates, there's a stairway on your left, and you can walk around on the top of the medieval walls. I climbed on top of one of the lookout towers and just got amazing views of Obidos and the surrounding area. I mean, it just blows my mind how well everything is preserved, even though everything is like 500-600 years old. After we just had a great time just wandering through the alleyways. I mean, if you're really into medieval destinations, you gotta give Obidos a visit.
This is one thing I will surely go to.
One of the most northerly coastlines in the world, Nazare. Just a 90-minute drive from Lisbon, Nazare is this historical coastal town that is famous for being
the waves!
every winter season, the waves can be over 100 feet high. The reason
100?
the waves
The
get so
waves on
big
the
is
back
because
side.
there's
100
this underwater
feet high
canyon
wave.
right
Oh
before the
my
swell hits the
God.
beach
Like, we
and
have
just
seen the
creates
waves
this
like
massive
this.
wave.
Wow.
Now, the best place to see the
Behind
wave
the
is from the 16th century fort of St. Michael the Archangel.
So
It's
blue.
located right in the cliff, and I'm surprised it hasn't collapsed in the ocean after being
just
battered by the
imagining
sea
me
for
standing
so many
there.
centuries.
My.
Now, I was here during the summertime, so there was like hardly any waves,
Oh,
but I would
in
love to
summer
come
there is
back
no wave.
between October to March to witness the world record swells.
Oh,
Now,
it is
afterwards,
scary.
we're going to visit the Berlengas Islands. Now, located about 10 kilometers off of Portugal's west coast, the
Berlengas.
Berlengas Islands are an archipelago full of history. Over the ages, many shipwrecks took place here, so in the 16th century, monks built a monastery and settlement to aid shipwrecked sailors, but it was eventually abandoned. In the 17th century, a fort was constructed on the monastery's ruins to build a coastal defense against threats such as pirates. Today, you can take a 40-minute ferry
There are
ride
so
through
many
the town
forts
of
in
Nietzsche
Europe.
and just spend the day exploring the great Berlenga Island. You can go snorkeling and just walk
Oi.
around. Definitely is a great
Such
day trip
clear
if you're in the
water.
area. After, we're going to visit Tomar. Tomar is an
Tomar.
idyllic Portuguese city full of charm and was the last town commissioned for construction by the Templar Knights. The crowning feature of the city is the Convent of Christ. It was completed in the
Oh,
12th
they are
century
very
by the
religious.
Templar Knights. The monastery was integral for defending the Christian kingdom against the Moors. I'm just blown away by how big it is. The stone wall that surrounds the castle must have took ages to construct. Another fascinating medieval place to visit is the Castle Alabria. Located about a
Castle
50-minute
of
drive
Alabria.
from Tomar, the Castle Alabria was constructed in the 12th century. Over the ages, the castle started to lose its military importance, and it was damaged extensively by French invasions. Today,
Oh.
it has been restored, and I just love how it's integrated with the city. Afterwards, we're going to visit the university town of
Coimbra.
Located
It is
about 2
maroonish.
hours north from
Yeah.
Lisbon, Coimbra is one of Portugal's most culturally vibrant cities. It was originally
See,
a Roman
wow,
settlement, but
I
during
like
the
the
Middle
colour.
Ages, it became the capital
Like,
of
white is
Portugal from
constant, huh?
1131 to
White,
1255.
maroon, white,
Now, the
orange.
oldest university in
White,
Portugal, which was originally started in Lisbon, was
Wow.
relocated to Coimbra in
View.
1308. And today, it's one of the oldest universities in continuous operation in the world. I would have loved to study there. Now,
What
while
a
you're in
beautiful
Coimbra, you
university
can
to
explore
look
the
at.
university
Yeah.
grounds and botanical gardens. I mean, just such a lovely university town. Now, afterwards, we're going to head to the mountains to visit Serra da
Observatory.
Estrella. Now, located about a 2 hours drive from Coimbra, Serra da Estrella is the highest point in continental
Whoa.
Portugal with a height of 1,993 meters.
Oh.
The
Is that a
peak isn't
snow or
jagged
what?
like something
Like
you
a
see in the
snow?
Alps. It's basically
I
the
don't
highest point on a plateau, but what's great about it is that you can drive there, so no hiking involved. And there's some really cool observatory towers
Oh,
on
what are
top.
these?
If you go in the
Observatory
wintertime,
towers.
chances are it will
Oh.
be covered in snow, and you can ski at the nearby
there is snow.
Estrella
There is
ski
snow,
resort.
yeah.
Afterwards, we're going to venture to the
Wow.
middle of the Atlantic Ocean to
Lush
visit the
green.
archipelago of the Azores.
Azores.
The Azores are
What
a
a
group
name.
of 9
It's a very
islands
luxurious
like
name,
Nazare.
huh?
They remind me of a
Azores.
hybrid of New Zealand and Hawaii with rolling pastures
like
and green
India's
scenery.
Kerala.
I mean, it's basically the Garden of Eden in real life. The largest island on the Azores is
So
São
nice.
Miguel. One of the most stunning
São
places on the
Miguel.
island
This
is
is
Lagoa
heaven.
das Sete
It
Cidades.
is.
It's a twin lake situated in the crater of a
green.
volcano.
Around
One lake is
monsoon?
green while the other is blue. The nearby Santiago Lake is also a really unique
This is
place.
real?
Now, another one of my favorite islands on the Azores is Pico. It's home to the highest point in all of Portugal called Mount Pico. It's a stratovolcano that reaches
Wow.
2,351
So
meters high
pretty.
and it lasts
My
roughly
eyes
from
are so happy
1720.
at this moment.
I just can't believe how huge it is. If you're up for a challenge, you can hike to the top. There's also 7 more other islands you can explore. I'll do a separate video soon and include them
No,
all.
I just want
mean,
to
it's just
roll
hard to be
down
the
from
scene
here.
of this volcanic
I'll push you.
archipelago. After the Azores, we're going to head back to the mainland
Then you will
to
stay
visit
up
the
alone.
region of Algarve. Now, the Algarve region is
And
the
cry.
southernmost part of Portugal. It's famous for its good weather, high standard of living, and incredible coastline. One of the most beautiful towns is
Lagos.
Lagos. It's an ancient
I've
maritime
heard,
town
I've
with
heard.
more
Yeah,
than
same.
2,000 years of history. Today, it's one of the most
Oi.
visited cities in Portugal.
I've seen
what I
this
love about
Portugal.
Lagos is that it's
We have
located
seen
right
this.
next to some
Oi,
of the best
wow.
beaches. The coast is home to uniquely shaped sea cliffs filled with hidden coves and sea caves. One of the most interesting
Oh, this
places
is my
on the
wallpaper.
Algarve coast is Begumwadi.
I
It's
showed you this
With
wallpaper.
this opening
We have seen
on
that.
top, you can only access it by taking a kayak, paddleboard, or boat tour. Another scenic spot on the
So
coast
magical.
is Ponta da Piedade.
Ponta da
It's full of
Piedade.
countless grottos and sea arches to explore. After, we're going to visit the city
Porto.
of Porto. Located on the coast of northern Portugal, Porto is the second largest
This is
city in
crowded.
the country after Lisbon. It's one of the oldest European centers as it developed as
This
an
is
important
Europe.
commercial port during Roman times. Today, it's one of Europe's most vibrant cities. I just love how colorful all the buildings and roofs are. The Louis First Bridge is one of the most recognizable features of the city as it spans across the Douro River. Now, while we're on the topic of the river, I recommend taking a boat or a car up the Douro Valley to witness some of the best wine country in the world. Wine has been made in this valley for over 2,000 years. The region is full of endless terrace vineyards that line the powerful Douro
I think so, that
River.
is terrace
Afterwards,
farming
we're
or
going to
step
visit the
farming.
Peneda Xeres National Park. Now, located in northern Portugal, right on the Spain border, about an hour's drive from Porto, Peneda Xeres is the only national park in all of Portugal, and I have to say it's just absolutely beautiful up here. It's full of granite mountains, pristine waterfalls, and scenic lakes. There's also beautiful towns and villages
Lakes
in the
and
area.
lakes
I really like this
everywhere.
one town called Lindoso. It has a medieval castle with these interesting
From a
little stone
movie.
huts called horeos. They are used to store grain and have been used since the 13th century. Afterward, we're going to visit
They
the
did not
nearby
destroy
Guimar.
anything.
Now, located
Everything
about
is
40
kept.
minutes from Porto,
Guimarães.
Guimarães is one of the best preserved medieval settlements in Portugal. It was founded back in the 9th century and is often referred to as the birthplace of Portugal because it is believed that Portugal's first king, Afonso Henriques, was born here. Today, Guimarães has been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's easy to see why. One of my favorite features of the city is the Guimarães Castle. It was built in the 10th century to defend the monastery from Moorish and Viking attacks. It stands as a national symbol and is also referred to as the Cradle of Portugal. After
Cradle of
exploring northern
Portugal.
Portugal, we're going to head back to the Atlantic Ocean to visit the island.
Madeira.
I just got done spending a week on this island and I just loved it so much. It's located right off the northwest coast of Africa.
On top
The
of the
island was
world.
claimed by Portugal in 1419.
Where are Portuguese
Now
people
Madeira is
living?
known
They are
for
just
its
living
ideal
in
climate and
heaven.
stunning coastline. One of my favorite beaches on Madeira is Ponta do Sol.
Ponta do Sol.
It's this beautiful
All the names
town
are on
that
P.
reminded me of
P.
Italy's Amalfi Coast. The beach there wasn't sandy, instead it had smooth rocks,
Rocky
and the
beach.
swimming was spectacular in the crystal clear waters.
Filled with
the
rocks.
main reason I wanted to go here was to do some cliff jumping. On the east side there's this
He
pier
loves
area
cliff
with this
jumping. I've
super
always
cool
heard him.
arch bridge, and then there's some little cliffs to jump off. I sent a few jumps and it was just freaking fun. The water felt so nice and it was such an enjoyable spot. After we relaxed on the beach and did some more swimming and just enjoyed the sunset, definitely a place you gotta visit. Another amazing spot on Madeira is the Fernão Forest. Now this has
This
to
is
be
a
one of the
movie.
most magical places on Madeira. It's this
So
forest
dreamy.
located in the
Oh,
highlands
I'm
of the
Paris.
island, and one thing that makes it so special is that it's often
Above the
covered by the
clouds.
clouds.
Yes,
Something that I just
clouds.
loved about the forest was its trees. Some are over 500 years old and they look like giant
500.
bonsai
Visit in
trees.
autumn.
I mean, it really feels like you're in a fairy tale forest just waiting to run into some mythical creature. Even though I didn't see any unicorns there, I ran into some photogenic cows just grazing away.
Cows.
Now, one of my most enjoyable memories on Madeira was just walking around for hours, exploring the forest. It was just pure peace and bliss. I mean, I just freaking love this place. If you're into
Those
scenic
cows are
churches, there's a
enjoying.
really beautiful Hilltop Chapel in the town of São
São
Vicente.
Vicente.
The church was built in 1948 to celebrate the end of World War II. Now, it's pretty easy to get to the church. You
1948.
drive up to the base, and then there's these stairs you can hike up. Now, the view up there was really astounding, and the church is just pretty cool too. For our final destination, we're going to visit my favorite place, not just on Madeira, but all of Portugal, Pico
Pico
do
do
Arieiro.
Arieiro.
Now, I love this spot so much,
Why?
I came up 4 times. Now, it's located about a 40-minute drive from Funchal. Pico do Arieiro is the
Oh,
third
I think
highest
it's a
point on the
sunset
island with an elevation of 1,818
1800
meters, which is
meters.
pretty wild considering how small Madeira is. Now, since it's so high up, you'll often be in or above the clouds, which creates the most epic landscape. Now, to reach Pico do Arieiro, you don't need a hike. You can drive a car to the top, and from there you can
Drive
go
a
explore
car.
the mountains. I was surprised
Wow.
how well maintained the
You're
trail was.
always above
It's
the
a stone
clouds.
path with guard wires for majority of the way. I mean, just so nice. If you hike for about 15 minutes, you'll reach the first lookout point called the Miradoro do Ninho da Manta. Now, the views there are just absolutely incredible. It has a phenomenal vantage point. We went up here for sunrise and sunset.
It's like
and
you're on a
both were
plane.
amazing. I'd say sunset was my favorite because there was like hardly anyone up there and basically had the whole place to ourselves. I mean, it just felt like a dream up there with the clouds and the setting sun. It gave me such a rush and was such a good reminder of why I love traveling. I just love this country so much.
Portugal is a dreamland. I think so every other movie should be made in Portugal because it is so beautiful. Like, it is the romantic capital, and why I think so it should be above Italy because it is so beautiful. Like those forests, Fanal forest, wow, I just want to go there. And even Madeira is 1800 meters above, so it is just, you can see the clouds, and it was so dreamy to see the sunset and go down there. Wow.
I just don't have any words to express the beauty of Portugal. To be honest, we have seen like the major famous, cities and countries like this and that. But Portugal was something I really don't know anything about, like the famous place or the food. But after watching this video, visiting Portugal will be top on my list.
Actually, so what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share, and
Subscribe.
bye.